Hello everyone. So you're here to know how you can impress your management, especially when you know nothing about Active Directory. So if you know nothing about Active Directory, it's simple. In a company, when you are using your Windows to type your password, it's going into Active Directory. So let's start. Sorry?
This one to go. This one to go.
Okay. Okay, so let's introduce myself. So I'm Vincent Le Toux. I'm French. I suppose you have understood, yes, based on my accent. So this is not a red team talk, to change from the other talk you got before. And to change also, I'm not a red teamer. I'm more part of the management. So I had a position as architect or blue team or CISO, everything you want about that. I'm also a former AD newbie because you have to start from something. So when I started this project, I knew nothing about Active Directory, but I'm cheating because I write some codes, especially in the smart card world. I made the GIDS applet. I play with the OpenPGP smart card. But you may know me as a contributor to Mimikatz. So below you will see my name. So each time you run Mimikatz and you see two names, Benjamin and the second one. So the second one is me. And no, because I love traveling around the world. I'm now speaker in many conferences. So you want to impress Jean-Luc? I love Jean-Luc because it's so French. I mean, this is the only captain of the enterprise which is French, and is a Frenchie. So Jean-Luc is your manager. He knows somewhat that AD is important because you got some ND in the enterprise. But as a manager, he has so much things to cover. He got alerts with the Klingon, everything you want. As a captain. And if you speak about security, because you are the security guy, it's up to you to fix it. And without additional budget. You have to fix it silently. But when you go to the management, you have something which happens. So I put this Dilbert cartoon, and I just rephrase some topics. So you go to the management, you say, oh, Mimikatz extracts the password in click text, it's dangerous, you can compromise your Active Directory, and you need to fix it because before I knew NotPetya. And then you got fired. Because this is not the way you speak to the management. So maybe it's time to start with the basics because Jean-Luc, not Jean-Pierre, is asking for basic question. So when I started this project, I was asking where is the 101 Active Directory course, meaning that I'm just starting my Active Directory project. Where do I start? So I've made this map. You have many frameworks. For example, you got the French one, you got the US one, you got the German one. I don't know about Italy. I didn't make any research. You got very specific control. For example, you got the STIG control for the US. You got many things to control, for example, for GPO. So this is from general to basics. And when you are looking at tools, you got very advanced tool. So I put the French one. For example, you got BTA, which was made by Airbus. You got Active Directory Control Pass. You got also a Bloodhound that everybody should know. Many tools to check for GPO compliance. You got also scanner for the WannaCry like. But when you want to have a big picture, I didn't find any tool to do it. So my basic question was, how much domains do I have? And I don't know. So let's start with let's continue with also a basic question. The basic question is, how much users do I have in my domain? So you Google it, and basically you find two ways to get the answer. The first one is a PowerShell commandlet, You type get AD user, you do a pipe, you count. It's very fast. It takes only 2 minutes, but you need to install something, and you need to be local admin to do it. It's an admin kit. You got also a second methodology that everybody can run. You just run an LDAP search and you count the number of results. But in real life, it's very slow, and it's not very usable. Let's continue. I have my domain, and I want to know how much domains are connected to my domain. So I go to Google, and I see a list of answers, and I'm just trying every answer proposed. So the first one is to run get-adtrust. But because I'm not admin, I was not able to install RSAT, so I'm not able to run it. Okay, so you can use netdom, but netdom is also part of RSAT, so you can't do it. You have a nice tool, which is PowerView, that don't have any prerequisites, except not being detected as a malware. So it's difficult. And if you look in the image section, you will find the screenshot in the middle, which shows the trust. That's exactly what you want. The problem is because this pop-up is part of the admin kit, you need an admin to run it. And you want to ask the admin, here is data, but he has other things to do, so good luck. So I wanted to have something generic. The goal was to have an overview of my domain, be able to build a map. It was inspired from the previous audits we got and the best practice. So the idea behind this report is to have a global overview of the AD and to be able to assign a problem to every person which is accountable for it. So I tried what everybody should have tried before me. That means write a PowerShell script. So it's easy to do, so I've done it. But what we found out on the field is that it's hard to debug PowerShell script. I mean, it's hard because you get an error, so you can see the error, but you need to understand the logic before getting to this error. So when you have someone on the phone who says, hey, I got an error, how can I fix it? It's very difficult. Something which was also surprising for something like me is that when you are running a PowerShell commandlet, you can get as output null, nothing, or a single object, or an array. That means that if you are applying a count, it doesn't work. Surprisingly, in the RSAT package, I was surprised that you have a commandlet which allows you to tell you the number of people, to tell you the member of a group directly. But when you have people which is from another domain, which is called the foreign security principal, it just doesn't work. And to add to that, we had only a few expertise, so it was very hard to do it. So you can see at the left, we had to split the script in many subparts. And as a consequence, we made so many versions. So to be able to audit Active Directory, we have made up to 24 versions. So you can see at the upper right the list of change, and you can see that it is getting a lot feedback to get improving. And in addition to that, when you get some results, you are just a newbie and you get to the expert, and the expert say, hey, you are a newbie, you don't know this, leave me alone. And it was very difficult to move on. So let's make a demo of Pink Castle, the results of 4 years of hard work. So it's real demo, it's not a recorded demo. So you can see my lab has plenty of domains. Yeah, this is a company. So what I suggest to do when you are getting back to work Monday, you go to pinkcastle.com, Then you see it's very easy. You switch to download. I have to demo it to show you how simple it is. Nothing. Okay, so yeah, repeat last minute again. So you go to pingcastle.com. It's easy to remember. Ping like ping pong, castle like a fortress. You don't read the blah blah. You go straight to download. You get down. You have a big download button. It's super complicated. You got a zip. And inside the zip, you got just an exe. And because I don't want to mess with my lab, I have already Pingcastle here. So when you double click on it, you got a menu. But because it's too complex for management, you have just have to press enter because this is the default option. You go straight because you want to edit your domains. And up, it's done. So for very complex domain, it's taking between 2 and 10 minutes. You can see that the program has created 2 files. The first one is an HTML file, and the second one is an XML file. So you can directly open the HTML file. So I will enable the JavaScript because there is something cool. So here is the report for my domains. So what the management likes is a big indicator, very simplified. So here is the one. So you are at 85 up to 100. So you are in the red zone. You got also many indicators. I don't want to spend much time. You get the rules, which has been added. So for example, this rule is by default. I wasn't aware when I started this project, but anyone can add a computer to a domain. So you got the detail for the rules. You got many generic informations for the computers, for the operating systems, for the domain controllers. I will go very fast. If you want to know the list of admins, it's here. You can have many detailed things. Etc., etc. But I will show you now the cool stuff. You can see that you have an XML file here. So basically, it is the content of the XML report. But with that, you can build more things. So I will run Pingcastle with other domains of my labs. So enter. And instead of just pressing enter, I will enter a star. So it will scan all the domain that this program can access. It's a little slow because my lab is huge. It's taking 20 seconds at this step. Okay. Okay, here. So what you have is that you have basically run the report on all domains of your company, but you have some bonus things. For example, you are able to get the map of your domains. So you can see in my lab that I got 7 domains. Okay. And on the field, you will discover that it's hard to fix things. I suppose everybody knows it. So this is one or two courses about the vulnerability scanner. So everybody should have a vulnerability scanner. And when you got a hit, you got a rule, and what's cool is that you got a solution mark. So you run your system, you run your vulnerability scanner every month or every quarter, you get a list of problems, you get a list of fixes to apply, and you forward it to the admin, right? Not exactly. Because the next quarter or the next month, the problem is still there. So you need to check by yourself if the problem is fixed or not. So for the null session, you have many tools to check for it. So for example, you got an nmap script, but nmap requires admin rights. You can play with RPC client, but you need Linux, and if you are running it from a VM, you need admin rights. You can run Wireshark, but you need admin rights. And you have this little command at the right, net use / IP address IPC $ with a null. But the problem is that if you want to test a domain controller because you have already a session, it doesn't work. So it's not 100% reliable. Sorry. But when you are looking deeper, you will find out that there is two ways to enable the null session. The first one that everybody knows about. I mean, you just connect with an empty user. But you got also another way to do it. You got some translation mechanism that can be used without any authentication. And you just ask the system to translate one ID to one user. So for example, you do for the first one, so SID of the domain -500, and then the system answers to you admin. Then you try the next one, the next one, the next one, until you get no users. So with these techniques, you are able to enumerate all the users of your domain. And why? Because you got some secret root cause which is not documented. So when you install Windows 2003, I mean 15 years ago, you had a small checkbox in the installation wizard which asked you if you want to maintain the compatibility with Windows 2000. And if you checked yes, because you didn't want to break anything, what you got is that you got anonymous, added as a member of the pre-Windows 2000 compatible access group. And because this user is here, you got null session. I got also a nice things out of the field. I got someone trying to install SharePoint, and it wasn't working with users. So the guy just Googled it, find how to, and he just applied to it. So the how to explained to him that he has to modify the special attribute named DS heuristics and to change the value. So unless you know this special trick, it's very hard to protect your Active Directory. So before impressing Jean-Luc, I think you need to impress the Active Directory guy, because he will do 80% of the job. And you did a bad job previously with null session, but let's go. And so I will show you a very specific trick that most of the ID admin don't know. And with this trick, you will be able to show you that you know a little things better than him. So in my research, for example, I wanted to detect unpatched computer. But to detect unpatched computer, you need to connect to Windows Update, and you need to have statistics, you need to be admin, and it's very complex. But you can reverse the problem. I mean, if you got a computer which didn't reboot for a while, 6 months, 1 year, you can guess that this computer has not been patched. So the idea is to get the last startup time. So at the top right, you have a command that you can run. It's installed, it's by default, and you can get the startup time of a computer. So I think this one the admin knows. But the left one, I think the admin didn't know about it. I mean, when you have SMB v2, when you just connect without any authentication, the server answers for the first packet, it answers with a response that contains the startup time. So you have the link, you can show to the admin that you can get the startup time of a computer without any authentication. So it's good if you want to scan your computers. For the trust, you can get the information by doing an LDAP query, so there is no magic. But because you can get to the property of the trust, you can get the trust creation date, that an admin did forget about it, and you can know if a trust is active or not. I mean, every 30 days, the password of the trust needs to be changed, and if the password is changed, the trust object is changed. But if there is no change in the trust is inactive. 2 slides. Most of the admin don't know about metadata because it's an hidden attribute or hidden command. So you can retrieve it with ldp.exe or ADSI edit if you have to switch some options, but not AD Explorer. Based on that, you get some information, for example, about the last change time, how much time it has been changed, etc., etc. But now, let's get to the cool stuff. You can know the number of times the KRBTGT password has been changed, and what was the last time this password has been changed. Because if the user is using the reserved question, it just clear a field and you lose the information. So you get in this information. You can also play with an attribute named schema info. You will just Google about it. And with attributes, you can know the number of changes that have been applied to the schema since the creation of the forest. So in the red bubble, you can see 7C7. You do a change, and it becomes 7C8. So you got an increment. And based on the metadata, you can get the date of the light change. So you can get very advanced information without any write. Last but not least, you get an attribute named DSA signature on each partition. So the admin knows commands named repadmin to get the same information. But you don't need to have this utility. You can just get the metadata. Know each time this attribute has been changed, and you can know if the server has not been backuped anytime, or weekly, or daily. And the admin thinks that this information is confidential, but it's not. And I think it's time for a demo to show you more funny things. So if you look at this map, so we are here on the domain, and you can see that you have some kind of complex architecture. So you have a forest here, you have a forest here, you have another forest, and you got a bastion. And I will show you that the bastion, which is overprotected, you can extract all the users of the bastion. So I will run Pincastle. I will switch to the scanner section. I will use the foreign user scanner. So I want to enumerate the people of this bastion. So here it goes. And I need to input the server that you can access, which is closest to this computer. So in this case, it is this one. So you see everything has been successful. So you see, you got the list of all the users of the bastion. So the bastion is heavily protected with firewalls, with unidirectional trust, and even with that, you can get to it. It's not an attack, it's a feature. I will show also some nice trick. I think this technique is not public. I tweeted about it. Antivirus check. So I will run it on my computer, so you will see it, and I will ask for a foreign domain. So what I was doing here is that I was connecting to the domain. I'm connecting to the translation service which translates SID to user ID. And I'm using the fact that each service has virtual users. So I'm just connected to this domain using this translation and trying to see if the service is installed or not. And because I know it's not the right... Oh, it is? It is here. And because I was able to find the service named WinDefend, I'm able to know that Windows Defender is installed. But I have made it on my computer, but I can do it on foreign computer. I can do it on... Oops. Not the right pop-up. One more session. Okay. So you see, it has not found any service. So the computer seems to be unpatched. But because maybe you don't trust me, I will scan it with another service. So I will use the TAM service. I will scan it. Okay. And you see that it was able to find that there is a Windows service here. So you can, alternatively, you can use this feature as a vulnerability scanner to know if some product is installed or not. For example, Apache, IIS, or something like that. And also, if you want to use it in a standalone feature, especially for Red Teamer, I've extracted this feature in a PowerShell script, so you can use it. So we have impressed the ID admin, and now it's time to get closer to the management. So what I learned with the management is that you have to speak, you have to make very simple things. You can see on the anime GIF, which is from the movie Margin Call, the CEO of a big company is asking to be speaked as a child, you see, or a dog. Don't waste the management energy. I won't go into details into the slides. I made a talk at Blowout about it, about domain discovery. But when you are launching an AD security project, you will find domains and domains and domains and domains and domains. And if you put the management energy too soon, you will waste the management energy and you will be left alone. So don't get into technical too soon. It is very a trap. So you are ready to improve the management? Ready? So you go to Jean-Luc. Okay, hello Jean-Luc. I want to make all ID owner run Pincastle once this quarter. So you got 3 months to run it once. And the goal is not to solve the problem. Don't solve the problem. It's just to evaluate the budget for next year. And it costs no money. So basically, every blocking point, you remove it. You remove it. You just say, you want to run it because it's Jean-Luc, but no pressure. And then, time to Pinkastle magic. Oops, not the right computer. That's the problem, having too much VM. So I will use another program named Pinkastle Reporting, and I will ask him to generate nicely a template. Oops, it's slow. Not supposed to be slow. That's the demo effect. Ah, yes, I know why. Because it's checking for the computer, for the program digital signature, I have just to unconnect it. So it will be faster. Where it is, where it is, where it is. Okay. So what I just made it right now is to build an Excel file. You know, it's super complex. Huh? Now I will fill this Excel file with a list of my domains. Reporting. It is here. Press. So you see it's super complex. I just put my domains I found out in my previous study. I just put a BU, and that's all. Based on that, I will run again the program. And I will build a PowerPoint. Yeah, management of PowerPoints. So this is a PowerPoint, but because it is inside the VM, it's not good to be seen from outside. So I have the same PowerPoint here, just in case. So when I started this project, I just entered 10 times. I just fill an Excel file with the results, and that's all. And with that, you got a nice dashboard. Okay, it's not branded. It's your job. You have to be paid for that. But you know how much domains has been covered. You know the average risk. You know what is the SID filtering status. You can get the detail by BU. It's okay, not okay. You can know the detail like that, and you can switch per BU. So you have a if you need to split the work across many BU, you got already the KPIs. You can also do the same, but I don't have much time. Okay, we'll stop here. Okay, now getting to your management work. You need to go explaining to the lower management that depending on the color, Jean-Luc can be happy, green, or unhappy, red. You have to do it. I mean, it's very important. It's very technical. That's why you made so much studies. So they have to work, and they will work because people don't like red. And then you go back to Jean-Luc. Thanks to his decision, he has made a new security indicator. But best, he can go to his management, Jean-Luc's management, to explain that the security subject is on, that he has made things, he's got measurable results, and he gets to a point that he's asking his management, either I get budget to fix it, so more money for him, more money for you, or he translates the read to the management. So if you got a problem, it's not your fault. It's not Jean-Luc's fault, it's Jean-Luc's management's fault. And because of that, Jean-Luc will get a bonus. He will get a bonus, you will get a bonus. I tried to make it super simple. But if you don't want to have the simple part, I have just 2 slides. I will explain in more methodologic way. What we have done here, it's called maturity. So this diagram is inspired by CMMI. If you don't know CMMI, it has been made by Carnegie Mellon, which is also designed the CERT brand. So if you heard about CERT, it's Carnegie Mellon, it's CMMI, the same things. So it's ranging from step 1, initial, to repeatable, defined, managed, optimizing. In short, 5, it's Mimikatz. You want to detect Mimikatz, you have to be at the 5 steps. And Pinkastle focus on the 2 first steps. The first one is define the scoping. You know what is your Active Directory. You know if it's good or it's bad. And you have already built something. And this maturity, I wrote a paper which is on the website. When we zoom into this sub-process, into these main processes, you got sub-processes, and for each processes, you got the KPI. So if you want to impress more Jean-Luc, because maybe Jean-Luc is a technical guy, you can go here and make things right. And the best thing with this methodology is that you can get a single score for a whole company. And management like having a score for a company before they are buying this company. So it's good. So okay, I'm right at time. Time to get to the conclusion. Spoiler, Pinkastle, do not stop Mimikatz. I write Mimikatz, I write Pinkastle, not completely Mimikatz, to be honest, it's more Benjamin's job, but I do not claim to stop Mimikatz, but at least if you get hacked after being run Pinkastle, you can say, okay, I've done something. But if you didn't run Pinkastle before getting hacked, you have no excuses. So what I found in the field is that you got to vendors. So I don't think there is any AD security vendors here. But basically, they sell to you big houses, big houses with a pool, with the tennis court, everything you want. But they just forgot to put the foundation, and then it collapses. So what I promised to you with Pinkastle is to build strong foundation. So you will be able to build the house you want. If you have no budget, you will have just a basic foundation. But if you have budget, you will have a big house with a nice pool. And to conclude, you have no more excuses. Just run Pinkastle as Jean-Luc ordered. Thank you. Because it's too complicated, you got also the link before it disappears. Take a picture, show it to the management. You know, management, you have to speak slowly like a child or a dog. This is a link.
Okay. So, any question for Vincent?
For the Mimikatz question,
at least one. At least one. No question.
Maybe I was boring.
Clear. No.
Blue team is boring.
I think a lot of people on Monday will try this tool. I'm sure.
Yeah.
I did. You know. And thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you for your talk.